You wake up at 3 in the morning and your dog is just staring at you. Not moving. Not making a sound. Just watching you sleep with those unblinking eyes. Most people find it creepy, maybe even unsettling. But here's what's actually happening in those quiet moments that will completely change how you see your dog. And if you think this is just about them being alert or bored, wait until we get to the end. Because there's one thing your dog does while watching you sleep that proves you're not just their owner, you're their entire world. 1. Have you ever noticed how your dog doesn't stare at everyone in the house the same way? They might glance at other family members, sure, but with you, it's different. Most owners think their dog is just being weird, or maybe they need to go outside. Here's what's actually happening. When your dog stares at you while you sleep, they're engaging in what researchers call social referencing. A 2015 study from Asabu University in Japan found that when dogs maintain eye contact with their owners, both the dog's and the human's oxytocin levels increase by up to 40%. That's the same bonding hormone that flows between mothers and newborns. The researchers discovered that this oxytocin loop is unique to the dog-human relationship. Wolves don't do this with their pack members. Only dogs, and only with the humans they've chosen to bond with. So next time you wake up to those eyes watching you, remember this. Your dog isn't being creepy. They're literally getting a chemical rush of love just from looking at you. That's not surveillance, that's devotion written in brain chemistry. 2. But why do they do it specifically while you're sleeping? Think about it. During the day, you're moving, talking, busy with 1,000 things. Most owners assume dogs watch them sleep because they're guarding the house or waiting for breakfast. Here's the truth. Sleep is the only time you're completely still and vulnerable, and your dog knows this on an instinctual level. A 2018 study published in Animal Cognition revealed that dogs can distinguish between sleeping and waking states in humans with remarkable accuracy, and their behavior shifts accordingly. They become quieter, more observant, more protective. The researchers found that watching you sleep actually calms your dog. It's not a duty that stresses them out. It's a privilege that brings them peace. When you're asleep, you're at your most defenseless, and in your dog's mind, that's when you need them most. So those quiet hours of staring aren't about them being bored. They're about them fulfilling what they see as their most important job, keeping you safe while you can't keep yourself safe. 3. Here's something that might surprise you. Your dog isn't just watching you, they're reading you. Have you ever woken up right before your alarm goes off and found your dog already awake, already staring, almost like they knew you were about to wake up? Most people think it's coincidence. It's not. Dogs can detect changes in your breathing pattern, your heart rate, even the subtle movements you make as you transition between sleep stages. Research from the University of Lincoln in 2017 demonstrated that dogs are capable of reading human emotional states through incredibly subtle physiological cues. While you sleep, your dog is monitoring you like a biological sensor, tracking every shift and change. Watch for this pattern. If you're having a restless night, tossing and turning, you'll probably notice your dog watching more intensely, maybe moving closer, maybe placing a paw on you. That's not just curiosity, that's concern. They're checking on you, making sure you're okay, reading your body's signals like a language only they understand. 4. Now let's talk about the position they choose when they stare. Pay attention to this because it matters. Some dogs sit at the foot of the bed, others curl up right next to your face, some position themselves in doorways. Most owners never think about why their dog picks that specific spot. Here's what's happening. A 2019 study from Iotvo's Lorand University found that dogs strategically position themselves based on their perceived role in the family hierarchy and their assessment of potential threats. If your dog watches from the doorway, they're positioning themselves between you and any danger that might come through. If they're pressed against you, they're prioritizing emotional closeness over strategic vigilance. If they're at the foot of the bed, they're monitoring the whole room. So next time you notice where your dog chooses to watch from, understand this. They've thought about it. Every position is a deliberate choice, and that choice tells you exactly how they see their relationship with you. And hey, if this is changing how you see your dog, hit like and subscribe. It helps us reach more dog lovers who want to understand their best friend on this level. 5. But here's where it gets really interesting. Not all staring is the same. Have you noticed that sometimes the stare is soft, almost gentle, and other times it's more intense, more focused? Most owners miss this distinction entirely. Here's the difference. When your dog stares at you with soft eyes and relaxed facial muscles, they're in what veterinary behaviorists call a calm bonding state. This is pure contentment. But when the stare is harder, more fixed, with tension around the mouth and raised ears, they're in vigilant protection mode. A 2020 study in the Journal of Veterinary Behavior documented how dogs shift between these two states based on environmental factors. Think about this practically. If you wake up and your dog's stare feels gentle and peaceful, they're simply enjoying being near you. But if the stare feels different, more alert, trust that instinct. They might have heard something you didn't. Dogs can hear frequencies up to 65,000 Hz while we max out at 20,000. Watch for these subtle differences. Your dog is telling you stories with their eyes. 6. Now here's something that breaks a lot of hearts when people realize it. Your dog doesn't stare at you while you sleep because they have nothing better to do. They're making a choice, a sacrifice you probably never even recognized. Every single night, they choose to spend those hours watching over you instead of sleeping deeply themselves. Research on canine sleep patterns from the National Sleep Foundation shows that dogs naturally sleep in polyphasic cycles, meaning they wake and sleep multiple times throughout the night. But when dogs live with humans they're bonded to, they voluntarily fragment their sleep to maintain periodic vigilance. Let that sink in for a moment. Your dog is literally sacrificing deep, restorative sleep to watch over you. Studies show that dogs living with humans get on average 20 to 30% less deep sleep than kennel dogs. That tired dog you see during the day, the one who naps in sunbeams? They're tired because they spent last night making sure you were safe. That's not just loyalty, that's love at a cost. 7. So let me bring this all together with the one thing I promised you at the beginning, the thing that proves you're their entire world. When your dog stares at you while you sleep, their pupils dilate slightly even in steady light. You probably never noticed this because, well, you're asleep. But if you ever catch them in those early morning moments, look closely. A groundbreaking 2021 study from Kyoto University discovered something remarkable. When dogs look at their bonded owners, their pupils dilate in the same way human pupils dilate when we look at someone we're deeply in love with. It's an involuntary response, impossible to fake, controlled by the autonomic nervous system. Your dog literally cannot control this reaction. So in those quiet, dark hours when you're completely unaware, when there's no performance, no treats, no praise to be gained, your dog sits there staring at you and their body betrays the depth of what they feel. Their pupils widen with pure, unconscious love. They're not watching you because they're trained to. They're not doing it for food or attention or because they're bored. They're watching you because looking at you, even while you sleep, even when you can't see them or reward them or acknowledge them, fills them with something they can't contain. And every single night, in the darkness, while you dream, your dog is wide awake, pupils dilated, heart full, choosing you over rest, over comfort, over everything else. That's not just a pet. That's a love story written in the language of unwavering devotion, told in the hours you'll never witness, proven by biological responses they can't control. Your dog loves you in ways they can't hide, even when no one's watching. Especially when no one's watching.